Okay. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us on this Wednesday night. So my name's Mary, and we've got Oxy here as well. We're going to be showing you that this class tonight is called What's New in Cookidoo and the Mix Shop. So we're going to be talking to you tonight. Our focus will be on budget saving, money saving. The new collection is called Stack Up the Savings. So we're going to show you a couple of different dishes that we can make to help you stack up the savings with your Thermomix. So Oxy's going to start us off, and then we'll come back over to me. So enjoy, and pop any questions in the chat if you've got questions, or and we'll get to them.
Hello, everyone. As you know, we are going to start with a 3 cheese spinach roll. My head is chopped off, so I'll try to fit in the screen. So I'm going to start with a filling, but I'm going to change the steps. So according to the recipe, the first step is line a large baking tray, which I already have. And this is easy. I don't buy baking paper because you can buy just this tray. And every tray we have 3 sizes, and you don't need baking paper. You have this mat. So this is already done. This is my first step. Now the next step, the recipe asks us to mill the cheese. I'm going to do my spinach first, and you will know why in a second. So I'm going to do this. It's 60 grams of baby spinach leaves. 60 grams doesn't look a lot, but look, it's quite a big one. So here we are. This is going to take literally 3 seconds. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to my step with my cheese. And I will tell you why am I doing this. So look at this. Isn't that beautiful? It's amazing. I added a little bit of parsley so I can smell amazing fresh smell. I'm adding my 3 cheese mix, and I got mozzarella, cheddar, and parmesan. And you probably know that the reason we buy those cheeses in blocks and not already in the bags, because they're cheaper. And this class is all about the saving. And my head is chopped off again, but that's okay. My class this is all about saving. So the block cheeses have no any artificial agents like anti-caking agent. So this is going to take 5 seconds. Zoom does cut off noise, so we'll see. Ta-da! And now you will see why we did the steps the way I said. Look at it. We have a beautiful green mixture, and otherwise you will have chunks of spinach and then chunks of cheese. So I'm going to take my 300 spatulas that I have prepared, and I'm going to place it here in the bowl, and I'm going to show how amazing this mixture looks. And what it will do, it will help you to mix it evenly on your dough when you start making the scrolls. So this is done. I'm going to put this aside and get my second bowl, my beautiful second bowl. As you know, we have our amazing April's offer is a second bowl for $99 for host rewards. And it's an incredible offer. It's one of our popular offers ever. So I'm going to start my second dish, which is Lekso. Lekso is a Polish dish, or just it's like a ratatouille. And I'm going to my Cookidoo. I'm going to start, and the recipe says use Polish sausage. You don't have to do it. You can, with Thermomix we substitute and add on our own individual products. So I have picked a beautiful classic wood smoked chorizo, and I've pre-weighed it. So I'm going to put 250 grams of chorizo, and I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. So this step is going to beautifully saute the chorizo and bring out all the amazing flavors. So I'm going to start cooking that now. We do it without the measuring cup. And here we go for 8 minutes. If you have any questions, just reach out in the chat. I'll see you in 8 minutes. Back to you, Mary.
Thanks, Oxy. I'm going to start my one. So one moment, please. I didn't know you were going to be that quick, Oxy. I thought you were going to do the dough. You tricked me.
Oh, the dough is pre-made already.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to be doing the chicken stock paste. This is something that you can save a lot of money with. I did look the other day at the cost of stock paste, and it was a bit ridiculously expensive. And this is something where you can use cheap cuts of meat and stuff like that. So it asks for 300 grams of chicken thigh fillets. What I did was actually bought the ones on the bone, and I just cut around it. So there is a little bit more than 300, but I'm okay with that because what am I going to do with 100 grams of chicken thigh? And it worked out cheaper per kilo to get that cut because it had the bone on it, which is inconvenient for most people. We just cut around it. So we're just going to pop the lid on. We're going to mince it. I don't know if anyone knows, but you can actually make your own mince. So essentially, should have talked you through this. This is partially frozen. So I've cut it into cubes and it's partially frozen. So 5 seconds on speed 7, and it's going to blitz this into a... So it just tells us to pop it back in a bowl, which is the bowl that I had it in. So that's chicken mince. If you want it thinner than that or finer than that, you can redo it. But that makes like a pretty good, a good mince. And it's a clean mince. That way you know exactly what's in it. Because I know sometimes like if you wanted to make your own sausage mince and stuff like that, you can do that. And then that way, as I said, you know exactly what's in it. So that's the mince that I've made. And also, as I said, you can buy cheaper cuts of meat and make it like that. So now we want 300 grams of mixed white vegetables. I've just got celery because that's a really good base for stock. I've got leeks and I've got garlic. You can put onion. I use leek instead. It's softer on the on tummies. So if you've got people in the house with sensitive tummies, leek is a lot softer. Now you've got 4 sprigs of mixed herbs. I just got what we had in the garden. And I'm going to show you something that I love from the mixed shop, which is the herb stripper. So I've got some rosemary. I've got some sage. I pulled the leaves off this one. I used one of the thicker ones to do that. That was really easy. And I've got some thyme. So I'm hoping you can see with the light. There's different sized holes. So essentially all you need to do is pop it in the hole. It does miss like the first little bit. And with the thyme, do it over, oh, wrong one. I have to do it in the smallest one. Do it over the bowl because I did it before and it went everywhere. So do it straight into your bowl. But that's just pulled that. Like it's really frustrating and slow to pull off the leaves off thyme. And rosemary is another one. Sorry, it's hard to see in this light. So you pop that through, maybe this one, and just pull it. I don't know if you can see, but it just pulls all of it off the stalk. And then you're just left with the leaves, which is what you need. So it makes life a lot quicker than having to pull off all the, like if I had done it, it would have been, you know, pulling off all the individual ones, and sometimes it can be painful. So that's a handy little gadget to have. Alrighty, now we're going to put the lid on. You can kind of pretty much, it's pretty versatile, similar to the veggie stock paste. I don't know if you can use what you've got in the fridge to a certain extent, but remember it's a chicken stock paste. So you want it to kind of be more white. So that's chopped all of that. Into thin. Now we go next. 150 grams of the rock salt. I use the pink Himalayan rock salt. You can use the white one if you want. This is another place you can save. So if you can buy these in bulk, you're going to save more money as well, because salt lasts a really long time. So instead of buying the smaller packets, you can buy a bigger packet. Also, like your veggie stock paste, if you want to use less salt, like if you're being conscious of salt intake, you can use less salt and just freeze it. I tend to freeze my chicken stock paste anyway, and it still scoops out fine with the salt content. 120 grams of white wine. Now, if you're someone that doesn't drink wine, you can use something from the shops called Verjuice. You can just get it from Coles and Woolies, but it does give it a really good flavor, and cooking it does cook off the alcohol. So up to you. A dried bay leaf, a whole clove, random, just one, 5 coriander seeds. So I've got all of them in my little container. The reserve chicken mince. I'll just pop that straight back in. Oxy, give us a wave when you're ready, okay? If you can hear me. Place the simmering basket onto the top. That's just to reduce the splatter, I guess, but also just to let some of the steam out. And then that's going to cook for 25 minutes. Okay, I'm actually just going to transfer it to my other Thermomix, but it cooks for 25 minutes. And then because I've got a second bowl, I can do my other one in my second bowl, but I've got 2 Thermomixes here. Oxy, are you ready for us?
Yes, I am.
Wonderful. I'll switch
I have one more minute to go on my Alexa, but in that minute, I'm going to show you my dough for my spinach rolls.
Amazing.
That I have pre-made. And look, it looks amazing. Look, it's so ready and beautiful. And again, just to remind everyone, or to anyone who's new, this thermal server is available as a host reward when you host a demo. So another saving for you. And this is where I usually rest my dough. Or you can always use a silicone mat as well. I'm just going to show you the silicone. Yeah, this one is amazing too. It's also available as a host reward. So we have 20 seconds to go for our next step of Alexa. And I'm going to look at the preview, and it tells me what to do. I'm going to show it to you. I apologize, my kitchen is in a creative disorder today, but that's good, right? Because we all love cooking. So I'm just looking at the review. So this is ready. I'm going to show you my beautiful caramelized chorizo. The smell is incredible. So the recipe is asking me to put it in a separate bowl. So I'm just going to pop it in this bowl so I can continue with my vegetables. Now, my son already came in and checked. What am I cooking? Here we are. I've got the chorizo in a separate bowl. And my next step will be, just put this olive oil so you can see. 150 grams of onion cut in pieces with garlic. So obviously I've pre-weighed and done that. I'm going to do that. And for anyone who doesn't know, you're going to see amazing magic. 3 seconds and your garlic will be chopped. No tears. Let's have a look. And here is my garlic. An onion. How good is that? Is that amazing? It's incredible. So the recipe tells me to scrape down the bowl, and let's see what we can do next. We're putting the teaspoon of salt. Now with this salt, everyone likes their own salt. I like this French salt. It's packed with vegetables. So I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of salt. Okay. And as you can see, I'm using a beautiful mixing spoons they feel like Christmas, from our mix shop. And I really, really love them. And this is a small gift that I usually give to people that I love. It's small and meaningful and practical. So I've got my teaspoon, and I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. And we're going to saute this for the next 4 minutes. As always, Cookidoo guides me and tells me that I need to put a simmering basket instead of a measuring cup. I'm going to do that. So we have 4 minutes for that. In that 4 minutes, I can show you in a second. I can show you. I wanted to show you again, because I think the first time was a little bit rushed. My beautiful rose gold bakeware, so I don't need the baking paper for, because I have this amazing baking mat, and it even has for things for cookies, the shapes that personally for me keeps me in line. I'm so bad with my parking, let alone baking. So this really, really helps. So this is going to be, we have this in different sizes. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is a spatula. This spatula is available in our mix shop, and I really like this trio. Here it is, and here it is. Now, these 3 things are incredible for your Thermomix. And the reason they're incredible, this one is amazing when you clean your bowl after browning, like after risotto or caramelization. Try not to use stainless steel, that, metallic, I apologize, that looks like a scrunchie. You know the one? Because what it does, it may scratch your bowl, and the more scratches you'll have, the harder it will be to wash off. So this one is available in our mix shop. It's incredible. This one is not a dummy brush. This is an amazing cleaning brush. It's only $7. And if you can see, the green brushes are longer than the white ones, because they go under your beautiful blades and clean everything under. So this 3 is an amazing trio to have when you have your Thermomix, because you have invested in this machine, so you want to make sure you look after it well. We have 2 more minutes to go. Do you have any questions so far? After 6 o'clock, my English is a little bit down, so I apologize if I'm making any mistakes. Yeah, Clay is just asking, has anyone done a Lexo before? You know, this is my first recipe ever. In Kazakhstan, we have something similar, but this is my first time, so I'm going to see how I go. But so far, it smells amazing. It smells really, really good. I have prepped up all my passata, all my ingredients. Look at this beautiful capsicum.
So Oxy, I'll share. I was looking for a ratatouille recipe for years. Like, I just couldn't find one in any cookbooks that I really liked. And so I was cooking traditionally on my stove for a long time, even post having a Thermomix on my kitchen bench. And then my sister kept posting this Lexo recipe. I'm like, what the heck? And it's not until she posts it like 3 times that it kind of clicks. Maybe I should try this. And so I tried it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just like a ratatouille. It's the best thing ever. And so now it's one of my
week on my weekly meal plan, and I just make it, put it in the fridge, and it disappears. Like it just goes. And so I don't usually make it as a full meal. I make it as something to have on the side or for people to eat when they're hungry. But yeah, I love it.
Do you substitute different vegetables than they are in the recipe?
No, look, I do what's there. I had one the other day that someone else, my sister-in-law made one for us, the Lexo, and she just chopped all the veggies up in the Thermomix, whereas I like to slice mine. If you've got a cutter, you could use the cutter for the capsicums, but I quite enjoy cutting sometimes. Yeah, chopping veggies, but yeah, so I like to keep it predominantly capsicums. But I do use a really lovely local, so Murray River Meats, they do good quality smoked meats, and so I use their chorizo instead of a sausage.
Yes, I also use a chorizo from a little market next to my house. It does gives it a woody, smoky flavor, and I know they use less artificial agents, like less coloring in. So it's good to support small business and people like us, right? So the recipe is asking for a zucchini. So I'm going to place my zucchini. Now my family is not fond of zucchini, so I have the zucchini 250. And I'm going next. I'm going to add red capsicum and then green capsicum. So I'm going to, this is a half portion. I do love capsicum. So I'm just going to go and order it, put it in and mix. Here we are, it's got to be 300. Of course, remember you can put a little bit less or a little bit more. I would even add a little bit of carrots. Well, I love carrots. So we're going to chop it for 6 seconds. Now, again, the smell is incredible. The smell around the house and the kitchen is just unbelievable. All my jars and bottles, huh? So let's have a look. Here looks like a rainbow, looks really, really good. So I'm just going to scrape it all down to the side of the bowl. Again, the colors are, oh, the smell is just sensational. I wish I could teleport it to you. So I'm going to add another 150 grams of red capsicum. I'm adding a little bit more because I actually love red capsicum. But I'm not putting any more green because I'm happy with this amount. And then I'm adding my reserved sausage, which is right here, and it's ready for me to go. I apologize for walking up and down. I'm not doing my 10,000 steps today, but this is a relatively new kitchen. We just moved in, and I'm still working my way around it. But we have 1 teaspoon of vegetable stock. Now I'm going to add, I apologize, I'm actually run out of vegetable stock because my daughter moved out to Canberra. So I sent all my vegetable stock to her. But I've got a chicken meat stock, the one similar to what Mary is doing. So I'm going to add that in, which will bring actually an extra flavor. It's not life-threatening, right, to do substitutes. So 1 teaspoon of sugar. Now, all Thermomix consultants do recommend buying a raw brown sugar, another saving for you, because from raw sugar you can meal any sugar you can. So I'm just going to put 1 teaspoon. And then let's see what happens next. Next one is pepper. Now my family loves pepper, so I'm going to add more pepper. A little bit even more than the recipe says. And the other thing I'm going to add, it's not in the recipe, I'm going to add a little bit of Aleppo peppers. This is just, Aleppo peppers is between smoked paprika and a little bit of chili. It's not spicy, but it gives that amazing warm flavor. So I'm going to start cooking it for the next 10 minutes while Mary is going to talk to you about savings. Mary, can you talk? You off 1
Sorry.
second.
I'm trying to find buttons. Okay, so the point of tonight, you've come because you want to see how you can save some money with your Thermomix. Depending on whether you've had your Thermomix for a long time or a short amount of time, I think there's always something to learn. This was actually something I learned by accident when I was looking at Cookidoo one day, and I found, I'm just going to share my screen with you. So I found that we can actually look at different blogs that they've put up. So they've got some really amazing different blogs here that you can look at. So something that we know, this is a bane of my existence, meal planning. I hate it because no one ever wants what I've decided to cook, and I don't feel like cooking it sometimes. But I know that when I plan my meals, I'm so much more organized. My life is a lot easier, and I know that my budget is a lot better because you're only buying what you need, and generally you've got pantry staples to go. So if you can do your meal planning and really put some time into that, that's going to save you some money. You can shop smarter by like buying things in season. Things in season are a lot cheaper than things that you're buying out of season because they're not having to outsource them. Avoid paying for packaging. Here's another one. Making your homemade stuff. So you can make your own flours, baking powder, icing sugar. Oxy spoke about that earlier, having raw sugar, being able to make all the different types of sugar from that. Spice blends, all that sort of stuff. So have a look and see what you might be spending money on that you can actually make yourself in the Thermomix. I'm just going to pop the link to this. I'll see if it works in the chat. If someone, Claire or Jody, if you can just check that link and see if that takes you to that page that I'm looking at. Waste not, want not. So if you've got some sad veggies in the fridge, can you use them in soups? Do you need to make a veggie stock paste, something like that? If you've got older stale bread, make it into breadcrumbs, things like that. Like, it's really getting savvy. And I think at a time like this, lots and lots of people are feeling the pinch. And this is where you can help. Every little bit counts. Waste. Claire, can you remind me how much Australians waste at the moment? Because I always forget the number. If you remember off the top of your head.
Look, I think it's on average roughly they can save like $40 a week, but I do have some exact stats. So give me.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Claire shared it with us and I was gobsmacked, although I've got to be honest, I'm probably really not surprised. How much we are wasting just from, cutting the ends off veggies and throwing them out and things like that. So yeah, getting freezer friendly, being able to bulk your meals up and then freeze them so that you've got a meal that you can heat up instead of going and buying lunch. Work out where your weak spot, I'll call it, is. Like, do you spend money on takeaways because you can't bother cooking one night a week or wherever? Like, what are you spending money on that you don't want to spend money on? Making the most of the weekly planner is really helpful. And here's some budget-friendly recipes. Interrupt me when you got it, Claire. Cooking from your pantry. So this is another blog. Sorry, I have a 7-month-old, so my sleep is really minimal. This is another blog that they've got. So how can you cook from your pantry? Really maximizing what you've got in your pantry rather than having to shop and buy extra things. Eating in is the new eating out. Claire, are you ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Okay. Now where's my page? Here it is. Okay, so this is a little bit of stats around food waste. So 70% of the 7.6 million tons of food wasted in Australia every year is edible.
Wow.
So most of our waste is edible. Each Australian wastes around 312 kilograms of groceries every year. So that's 1 in 5 bags. And it equates to between $2,000 and $2,500 thrown in the bin per household per year.
Isn't that insane? Like, that's almost the cost of a Thermomix. Oh, far out. That just blows my mind. Thank you. So yeah, really looking at how you can turn that, one, try to minimize the waste, but two, if you do have waste, like if you're cutting tops of veggies, can you pop them in a veggie broth bag in your freezer and use those for your veggie stock paste? Doesn't have to be perfect when you're doing veggie stock paste. It just has to have the good stuff in it. And that means you're not going out and buying 2 carrots and celery and all that sort of stuff for your veggie stock paste. So yeah, eating in is the new eating out. This speaks about how you can cook restaurants quality meals at home. And here's some recipes. Peanut butter gelato, yum. Like gelato messina. How much is gelato if you're going to buy it? It's at least like $5 for one little scoop. You could make that for $5, I reckon. They've got Asian collections. You've got date nights. So you've got yourself a little cocktail. There's tons of cocktails on there. If you like to have a bevy with your meal. You've got some really good takeaway meals. While I'm here, I'm just going to show you one of my favorite ones because I'm going to digress. This makes so much. You can mix up the cuts of meat. I've done it with beef cheeks. I've done it with ossobuco. I've done it with lamb shanks. All of it is delicious. I've even only had 2 lamb shanks in the freezer, but also had some ossobuco. I've done them together. It works. It's amazing. And it's a really, really delicious dish. So that braised lamb shanks is amazing. Using leftovers, how you can reduce your waste and save money. So, you know, what, as Claire alluded to before with the Lexo. You can make that and just keep it in the fridge. You can have it for breakfast. You could have it for lunch. You could mix it with different things. You know, how can you maximize one meal to make either bulk of it or, yeah, use it for different things. You've got your smart savings guide. So pasta and rice, they're fast, they're filling and full of flavor. Risottos are great. They're so easy to make. Soups are really good coming into this cold, wet weather. The Mexican one pot pasta I've heard great things about. So these are winter warmers. Anyway, this is how you find them on Cookidoo. So you're at your main screen and you usually here into featured. So you go into themes and then you can go to see more. And this is where you'll find all, and this is just Australia, all of the blog ones that they've done. So if you want to know more about meal prep and batch cooking, click on read more and it'll take you to meal prep and batch cooking. So this is another way, one, to be more efficient as well as trying to save your time and money. But have a look through that. When you've got a little bit of time, if you're catching a train to work, just spend 5 minutes flicking through it and have a read. It tells you all about the different modes. I think all the modes are new. But past that, there's ice cream, scaled recipes, how to do different scaled recipes again, reinventing Christmas, New Year's. Here's one for you babies, which is where I'm living in Babyville at the moment. Yeah, there's some really, really great articles on here. And there's, I don't know how many, if it tells you at the top, 167 different articles. So have a flick through it, see if there's something that you're interested in that you could read. Slow cooking mode is going to be great coming into winter when it's getting colder. If you've got a TM6 and you haven't used fermentation mode yet to make yogurt, do it. It costs probably maybe $5 for a batch of yogurt, and it makes, you know, like the equivalent of maybe at least 2 liters, I would say. And it's delicious. There's one way to save a lot of money. And Claire's little tip is to put it in the old container. If you keep your old regular yogurt container and put it in that, then the kids won't know and they might just eat it. So that's a couple of tips. I probably waffled on for too long, but that's some tips on where you can find some more information and resources on how to save with your Thermomix. Oxy, are you right? Yeah.
Yes, I'm good. All good to go. So my next step is one of the last steps is to add half a kilo of passata. Now, when you don't have passata, Thermomix can make it your passata. That's what I did today. Because the tomatoes, again, are in season. And if you grow your tomatoes, even cherry tomatoes, this all works towards your savings, correct? So I'm just going to press next, place this down, and put my passata in. And next step, what I'm going to do, I will be like Mary. I'm going to continue cooking this in my other Thermomix to make space to roll out the spinach rolls. Here, spinach scrolls. Так, I'm going to start cooking. I'm doing that. Yeah, perfect. Так. I'm going to move my Thermomix to the side. And the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to use it. A beautiful look. Ta-da! I get my own entertainment, right? So I'm going to move it aside. As I'm prepping for my batch, just to remind you that Thermomix is NDIS approved device. And if you know anyone who's needs Thermomix with its guided cooking, like you don't need to have to lift the pasta in a colander, it's all there for you, and just a little reminder. So I'm going to bring my iPad closer. Hopefully you can see, look at that, isn't that amazing? Now this is our amazing dough, and what I'm going to do, I'm going back to my recipe right now on my Cookidoo to see what's next, so I can give you correct instructions. So the other thing Thermomix does, I just want to, you can see it a little bit in the corner. Here we go. Yeah. So the other thing that Thermomix does, it actually tells you, it gives you a little video. I'm not going to turn it on, but if you don't know what to do, you watch that video or you watch Oxy and that you continue. Personally, I'm not a natural cook, so I do watch those videos. So I have this amazing rolling pin. It's also available in the meat shop. Here, all these discs are measurements. There is a 10 millimeter, 5 millimeter, and I'm going to go with a 10 because I do want my scrolls to be a little bit fluffy. So let's see how we go. So I'm just going to, I'll try to put it in a triangle. Here we are. And I'm going to roll it. I'll do this way so you can see better. The dough is amazing. Look at the bubbles. It's so beautiful. I must say, baking always makes me so happy. When you come home and the home, I think, instantly is full of love, you know? You already feel like your mama is home and she's making beautiful food. So I'm going to give it a little bit of stretch. I do like playing with my dough. Sorry, I'm not very professional videographer, as you can see. So I'm still rolling and rolling and rolling. And look, it's up to you how thick do you want. 10 millimeters is quite thick. So I'm just going to give it a really good push down. As I'm playing with my dough, you can pick all different fillings. It doesn't have to be your spinach and cheese. Look at this beautiful color. Oh, I apologize, that's my husband. And I'm going to ignore it, of course. So back to the fillings. My family likes Vegemite scrolls. The principle is completely the same. All you do is put some Vegemite on and put some cheese on. So I'm placing all my mixture in. Now, because this is for me, I'm just going to use my hands we'll see whether we can see it. No, I'm happy to use my hands. So I'm just going to place it everywhere like this. Look at these beautiful colors. The colors are just sensational. Here we are. Look at these beautiful colors. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to spread the mixture everywhere, everywhere, for the even cooking, right? So here we are. And I'll even a little bit, I'll give it a little bit. I don't want to press my dough too much because I want to keep those bubbles. So I'm doing that. And that looks pretty good. Now, unfortunately, we don't have teleport services yet. Zoom haven't came up with that, but this looks good, right? So what we're going to do, you can wash your hands, but I'm not going to do that. The next step I'm going to do is gently roll it. I'm gently rolling it. I hope you can see it.
Hey, Oxy, you can actually use your thermomat to roll it, and it works really well.
It really, look, I've learned a new thing. How good
so
is
if you
that?
pull the edges of your thermomat against the dough, yep, and then just use that to roll it.
Amazing.
And it helps keep it tighter. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, Claire. I'm not showing this to you. Look, that's another. I have become a Thermomix consultant for 2 years now, and I'm still learning. I'm not a natural cook. And look, today I've learned this amazing trick. How cool is that? Thank you, Claire. Look, and I've got this amazing, amazing roll. And I have prepared my beautiful baking mat, baking tin. It's already here. I'm going to transfer my roll right here onto my tray. I apologize. I'm just going to dash for 1 second to open the door for my dog. Otherwise, it will keep barking. Now, the next tip, this is another awesome tip. Basically, to cut the roll, you can use a sharp knife, or like my co-worker, legend Jodie Blake, taught me you can use a floss without a flavor. So you cut it up. Basically, it doesn't have to be long. It just goes up to your elbow, so you can work with it. So we're going to go under. Now, I do like my scrolls very, very big. It's up to you how big your scrolls you want. Because my children are quite grown up. Look, and it beautifully cut the dough. It's amazing. I'm going to show you a couple more. And as I do that, I think this is the best way to cut the scrolls. You just, ta-da! And they all fall onto the tray. You don't have to move it. It's not a great angle to watch, so I'm going to place it like here so you can see. Yep, and I'll continue doing that. And while I'm doing that, I will tell you a little story. Here we go. So I keep doing that and doing that. My lecture is ready. I'll just press the button. I'll keep doing that. And generally, I will fill up the whole tray. The recipe says, put the scrolls in a cold oven for 25 minutes. It depends how hot your oven is, for 200 degrees. And because of the magic, look, I've already pre-made my scrolls. Look how amazing they look. I know they look very giant. It's like nuclear Chernobyl scrolls, but the flavor is incredible. And with mine, I also into the filling, I can add a little bit of pepper. I can a little bit of Aleppo peppers or chili. Oh, so the scrolls are incredible. I'm going to open one in now so you can see. Look how beautiful they look. And that's perfect for your lunches. These are really good to freeze. And the Vegemite ones, my family's favorite. They are amazing to be frozen as well. You just take out the bag or a container, pop it in school lunches or work lunches, and it's another saving for you. You don't have to buy lunch. So I want to open this here for you and show how beautiful it is. It's just so nice. Look how beautiful it is. I wish I could teleport it to you. So yeah, and I will show you my lecture, which is all ready to go. If I didn't talk, the lecture would take only 20 minutes to cook, right? But because I did talk through every step, here we are. Look at this. That's incredible. I'll show you a better angle. Just give me a second. Here we are. Ta-da! Can you see?
It looks
Yeah,
amazing, Oxy.
the colors, the smell just incredible. What I'm going to do, I'm going to add a little bit of parsley for serving. And you know, you can even add a little bit or cook up a pasta if you want. And it's just a really, really nice dish. I'm pretty happy that I tried it. And I just want to say how incredibly grateful I am that I have become a Thermomix consultant, because I've learned so much and I use my machine every day. And I also earned my second machine. That's a second saving for you. So you already, most of you have this device on your bench. And the side gig, according to Forbes, is a new black nowadays. So think about becoming a Thermomix consultant for a couple of months and learning all about your machine. Now, Mary, we're going back to Mary. Mary is going to teach you another amazing trick.
Sorry, thanks, Oxy. I'm going to show you a really great saving. Now, I know lots of kids or even adults, but mostly kids love the up and goes. This is a great version of an up and go, and you just got to tweak it a little bit. So I'm going to get straight into it. I love it. You can add extra stuff to it. So it's 30 grams of rolled oats, which is a little bit over, but that's all right. And the stuff in it is way better than what's in an up and go for starters, but also it'll save you a fair bit of money. Like this is really just some oats, linseeds, which is your flax seeds. This is going to blitz these and mill them for 20 seconds. So that just milled them for 20 seconds. So I don't know if anyone's kids would gladly eat oats or linseeds, but that's just milled all of that. And flax seeds are really great for fiber. So one ripe banana. If they don't like it too banana-y, just like do half, or if they love banana, add extra. This is a gigantic banana, but that's all right. 250 grams of almond milk. You can use any milk you like if they're not fussed on, if you're not fussed on using dairy, you can use a dairy milk. It'll probably be more like an up and go. If you want something thicker and closer to the consistency of dairy milk but don't want dairy milk, soy I think is a little bit closer to it. So 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. I usually use cacao. You can use a protein powder if you want to try and get some protein into them. You can pretty much put however much you want. If you don't like, or they don't like chocolate flavor, you can just use a vanilla one or just leave it out. But I've put collagen powder in it as well. I used to do that when I was pregnant. This was literally the only thing I could stomach in the morning. So a teaspoon of vanilla bean paste, I just guess. 10 grams of honey. I almost couldn't get that open. So I think it's about a tablespoon-ish. If you like it a little bit sweeter or they like it a little bit, oh, that's more than that. Just add extra. A tablespoon of nut butter, I'm going to leave it out, but it is really good for you if you want extra nutrients. Okay. I'm just going to pop this on. This is going to blend the whole thing for 40 seconds. So I'll be gone for a second.
Does anyone have any favorite smoothie or drink recipes they make in the Thermomix? I tend to love Jo Whitton's from Quirky Cooking. She's got an amazing chocolate smoothie and what's the green chai one?
I couldn't eat anything you were saying, if you need me to answer that. So that's done. If you like it a little bit icier, obviously add a little bit more ice. But this is done. So my little thing from the mix shop, I love these massive tumblers, but if you're going to share, pop it in the little one. These ones are great. It'll keep it cold for ages. So it's a really thin, nice thin consistency, but it's got the thickness of the oats too and the banana in it. So it's really yum. It's really easy and quick in the morning if you want a really good breakfast, and it'll save you a bomb. The other thing I was up to was the chicken stock paste. So I just need to blend, actually I'll do it on the other one. Blend it for 1 minute. I should have done that at the same time. But that stock paste is all done. So I just have to blend it and put it in jars, in sterilized jars. Again, great ways to save, just reuse. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Just reuse old jars. So I just keep the jars from the pantry, like, I don't know whether that was a peanut butter jar or something like that. Old pickles, just keep the jars and reuse them. That way you're not spending money on extra jars. Yeah, I'll pop the link. I think we might be sending out the recipes, right, Claire?
Yes.
The other thing that you can do if you want to add extra, like extra good things to it, you can add collagen powder. That doesn't taste like anything, and it's really good for your skin, bones, nails, hair. I just realized Kelly left something in here too. I made this today for my son, and for morning tea, added a coffee shot. That's a great idea. Protein powder to mine, and I had a healthy morning tea snack. Easy. And it's so quick. Like that took less than 5 minutes, I think, to do. Also, I popped the links for the articles that I'd shown you in the chat as well. And I'll just grab the stock paste. So I've also got my glider board, which is another thing I was going to say. I don't know, live without it. So much easier than moving your Thermomix. So this is the stock paste. Here. So that's your chicken stock paste. One of the other things I love is the jam funnel that you can get in the mix shop. If you don't have a jam funnel yet, get one. But if you don't want to get one or can't get one yet, you can actually use the lid of your Thermomix. If the jar's the right size, you can just sit that on top, and then without the measuring cup, you can use that as your little funnel, and then everything just goes around it and you can clean up around that. But let me find my spatula. All right, so all you want to do is just pop this straight in here. I do it when it's hot. And you can, as I said, pop it in the freezer and it scoops out fairly well. So you only need 1 tablespoon per, I think it's 500 grams of water. So you'd only need 2 tablespoons to make 1 litre, which is what they generally charge, I think, about $4 in Woolworths for a litre of stock, like liquid stock. So I don't know how much that is, but there's still more in there as well. So you'd save a lot of money just by making your own stock paste. And I'm sure a lot of you already make your vegetable stock paste, but if you make the chicken stock paste and the beef stock paste and keep them in the freezer, they will keep. And it does bring a lot extra flavour to your meals. So, Oxy, do you want to show us your finished Lexo?
Yes, here we are.
There we
I've
go.
already tried. It's incredible. I'm very impressed. It's sensational. And do you know, I just thought you could do it as a vegetarian as well. So for smoky flavor to or add smoked paprika and maybe sun-dried tomatoes. It's just Michelin star to Cookidoo. It's so good. And I'm going to have it with my cheese roll, spinach cheese roll. So it's going to be amazing. The color is amazing. You can see I sprinkled it with a little bit of parsley. Thank you so much for everyone for attending. We have this class every month. And I wanted just to add, these recipes are from our latest collection on Cookidoo. And this collection is all about saving. There are over 20 different recipes on all different meals that you can add that is not going to blow your budget. Thank you so much.
I might just quickly share before everyone disappears if they haven't started disappearing already. I'm just going to show you how to get to the collections if you don't already know. Many of you probably do, but I just thought I'd share. So when you're on your normal Cookidoo screen, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, it'll show you what everyone's cooking, so what's popular. Here's the book that we use today, so the Stack Up the Savings, but these are the latest collections. So these are where you find all the brand new books that have been released, or collections, I should say, that's been released. And they release so many so often. So this is the one that we based it off today. So there's the Breakfast on the Go. You've got your creamy vanilla yogurt. That's the one that I make. You can actually halve it if you want to. And another time-saving tip is if you want to use, if you want to skip the cooking of the milk step, just use a UHT milk and that'll take out the time that you need to cook it for. So that'll minimize it by about an hour. Anyway, I hope that's been helpful. If you've loved this class, come back to our next ones that we've got on, tell your friends about them. Feel free to invite other people, whether they're owners or non-owners, everybody's welcome. So thank you very much for joining us. And we'd love to hear feedback. We'll stay on for another couple of months and another couple of months, minutes. I'm not staying here for months. If anyone's got questions, feel free to ask questions. If you're local to the Cartha too, we've got a cooking class coming up at the end of the month too. So it's an in-person cooking class. You always learn so much. But we do actually have a link that you can check out the upcoming classes as well. I'm not sure if that'll be in the email that's going out, but I can see if I can pop it in the chat for you. And always give us feedback. We love feedback, good or bad, constructive. Just looking, sorry. So do you have the link handy? I have it in here somewhere. I'm just trying to find it.
Thank you, Jyoti.
Here it is, I found it. I don't know if there's enough people left, but I'll share it. Oh, there you go, Claire, you're too quick.
No, mine's really long.
There's the short version.
Oh, thank you.
Hopefully that'll go out in the email anyway.